تفت فؤادك الأيام فتى وتنحت
Qawaaidul Islam, the nullifiers of Al-Islam, authored by Shaykh Muhammad ibn Abdul rahimahullah, and we took his life when we spoke in the first Kitab Qawaaidul Arba'a. When we taught the Kitab Qawaaidul Arba'a, we took the biography of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. You can go there and listen to it, inshallah. These are 10 things that he mentions, rahimahullah, that nullify one's religion and that takes them out of the fold of Al-Islam. The fact that the Shaykh mentioned these things that take a person out of the fold of Al-Islam, is it only 10 or is it more than 10? Of course it's more than 10. More than 10. But the Shaykh rahimahullah specifically chose these 10, and we inshallah hope to go through it in a very simplified, easy, to the point, not too much nuqulat, not too much explanation, not too much detailed matters regarding it, just to the point. But before I start, I need to mention an introduction, a point that I need to explain, which is these things 10 that the Shaykh mentioned, they nullify your Islam. So the Shaykh is mentioning 10 things that go against the asal of your iman. So if something goes against the original, the fundamental point of your iman, then your iman will nullify and you're not a Muslim anymore. You become a murtad. And these are these 10. A person can come with kufr by speech. He becomes a kafir by speech. An individual can become a kafir by action. And a person can become a kafir by belief. These three. Speech, action, by the limbs, and by belief. I'll give you one of each. One. A person insults Allah and His Messenger and mocks the religion. Kufr by act speech. The Shaykh's going to bring those ones for us, inshallah. The second one is action. A person who goes and stands on the Quran. Just walks and he stands on it and he knows there's a Quran there. He becomes a kafir because of that action. Third one is the person becomes a kafir by just his belief of something. A person believes alcohol is halal, even if he doesn't drink it, he doesn't drink it. He believes it's halal. After the evidence has been brought to him. After the evidence has been brought to him and it's been told to him that the alcohol is haram, he says, I still believe it is halal. This is kufr by belief. Those three are kufr. And a person can become a kafir from one of them. But the forms that kufr come in, some scholars they mention 5, some mention 8 and they break it down, but we're going to mention them quickly inshallah. The first form of kufr, ridda or prostration, or the nullifies, they're called the usul of nawaq, the usul, the fundamental things that nullify your religion. The first one is shirk, associating Allah with partners, 1. 2, shak, doubt. You doubt even the truthness of Islam. Kufr. You leave the fold of Islam. If you doubt Islam, whether it's a true religion or not. Doubt, you have that doubt. 3, i'rad, you turn away. 3, i'rad, turning away. 4, al-iba'i wal-istikbar, to refuse with arrogance. Like Iblis did. As Allah said, Aba, he refused, wastakbar, and he became arrogant, وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. 4. 5, takdhib, you believe it, you say that the Quran is, you don't believe in it, you say it's a lie. You consider it a lie. You do takdhib of it, meaning you say it's false, it doesn't exist. 6, Al-jahd, hard-headedness. 6 is what? Jahd, hard-headedness. You know it's true in your heart, but you're hard-headed about it. 7, tanaqqusu lillahi, you belittle Allah and His verses and the Messenger. This is kufr as well. Last, hypocrisy and its types. Major hypocrisy. And all of those 8 that I mentioned, they all go back to it going against what? Shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. It basically goes against that, voids it. For example, the person who has shirk, it goes shahadu an la ilaha illallah. And shak, doubt, it goes against shahadu an la ilaha illallah. The oneness of Allah and that He is Allah, that He deserves to be worshipped alone and that He exists subhanahu wa ta'ala. It goes against it. It goes against the rububiyyah. Takdeeb is what? Not to believe. It goes against Allah's uluhiyyah. Shahadu an la ilaha illallah. Takdeeb. And i'rad, to turn away. The turn away goes against the Prophet's message. So shahadu an la ilaha wa shahadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ibat, to refuse to take that and to be arrogant. Again, it goes against shahadu an la ilaha wa shahadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So that's why it's a matter of aqeed and tawheed. Apostation, ridda. That's why you study them in fiqh, and that's why you study in aqeedah as well. Chapters of ridda, apostation, you find them in the books of fiqh. You do. And you find it in aqeedah because it goes against shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. The Shaykh rahimahullah, he said, so we're now going to go into the 10 straight away inshallah. قال الشيخ محمد بن عبد الوهاب رحمه الله. الشيخ محمد بن عبد الوهاب, he said, اعلم, know, أن نواقض الإسلام عشرة نواقض. Know that the nullifiers of Islam are 10. الأول, the first one. الشرك, shirk. Shirk means what? Associating partners. في عبادة الله تعالى, in the worship of Allah. قال الله تعالى, Allah said, إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forgive the one that associates partners with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَغْفِرُ, and Allah forgives. مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاء. Anything that is less than shirk, Allah forgives people for whoever He wants subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever He wills. So anything other than shirk falls under Allah's mashi'ah. Meaning, if Allah wants, He forgives you. If He doesn't want, He doesn't forgive you. But shirk, no. Allah doesn't forgive a person. What does it mean here? It means the day of judgment, not in this world. If the person who has done shirk comes to Allah the day of judgment, Allah won't forgive them. For sure. If you die upon shirk, the day of judgment, you are definitely in the hellfire. So if I know a person died upon kufr, I can say he's in the hellfire. I already know. Whereas, person who's a believer, if he dies, I can't assure him of Jannah. Why? Because remember, anything other than shirk is connected to what? Allah's mashi'ah, Allah's will. If He wants, He takes him to Jannah. If He doesn't want, He doesn't. Are you with me? But shirk, we know what's the consequences for it straight away. That's clearly mentioned. That anyone who dies upon shirk, he will, Allah, in Allah's worship, he does shirk of Allah, associates Allah partners in the ibadah of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive him. That's the evidence for it. وَقَالَ, and also Allah said, إِنَّهُ مَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ, anyone who mixes, associates Allah with partners, فَقَدْ حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةِ, Allah has made Jannah haram for him. You see, وَمَأْوَاهُ النَّارِ, and the hellfire is his final abode. وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ, and the wrongdoers, it is not for them, ansar, helpers in the hellfire. They won't get anybody who's going to help them. وَمِنْهُ, and in the shirk is what? وَمِنْهُ, from the ibadah is what? الذبح, slaughtering. It's from the ibadah of Allah. If you associate slaughtering for anyone other than Allah, then you fallen into shirk. كَمَنْ يَذْبَحُ لِلْجِنِّ أَوْ لِلْقَبْرِ, like the person who slaughters, who performs sacrifice to someone other than Allah, such as the person who offers sacrifice to the jinn or to a grave. Now, we have to know, the people in terms of submission to Allah are three types. In terms of submission to Allah, people are three types. The first one is a muwahhid. A person who fully submits himself to Allah. In what? Singling Allah in ibadah. Not associating partners with Him. That's a muwahhid. هو من استسلم لله بإفراده بالعبادة وحده لا شريك له. He singles Allah in worship and does not associate Allah partners with Him. The second one is a mushrik. This person's submission is what? Partially. Not fully. What does he do? He submits himself for Allah and he also submits himself for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in worship. That is the second one. The third one is وَهُوَ مَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَسْلِمْ لِلَّهِ أَصْلًا. The third one is a one who doesn't ever submit himself to Allah. Mustakbir, arrogant one. The arrogant one. Who is arrogant from submitting himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have two who submit and one that doesn't submit. The two that submit, one singles Allah in that submission and one mixes and associates Allah partners with that submission. Pay attention. The one that is arrogant of Allah's submission and the one that partially submits himself to Allah, are they the same? They're kuffar, mushrikun. Both of them, disbelievers, and they're in the hellfire forever. Pay attention to that. Allah said in the Quran, وَمَنْ يَسْتَنْكِفْ عَنْ عِبَادَتِهِ. Anyone who lifts his nose up arrogant from the ibadah of Allah, وَيَسْتَكْبِرْ فَسَيَحْشُرُهُمْ إِلَيْهِ جَمِيعًا. Those people will be resurrected together with Allah the day of judgment, and Allah will give them a severe consequences for their actions. You see? So a Muslim, a muwahhid, إِذَا أَشْرَكَ, if he falls into shirk, ارتد عن الإسلام, he will leave the fold of Islam. As for a mushrik who was originally a mushrik, that one is not called a murtad. That's not a murtad. A mushrik who is a mushrik, we don't call him a murtad. What do we call him? Mushrik, kafir, asli. He's a mushrik asli. Murtad is what? A person who is Muslim, who leaves Islam and he falls into shirk. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. So the kafir to us is two types. Kafirun asli, or original kafir. He was always a kafir. Such as who? مثل اليهودي أو النصراني أو البوذي أو غيره من طوائف الكفر. A Buddhist, a Christian, a Jew, they're kuffar asliyin. Good. The second one is what? Al-Murtad, the apostated one. وهو من أسلم, he submitted. ثم وقع في موجب من موجبات الردة والكفر. The second one is a person apostated. What does apostation mean? It's a person who took Islam and then he fell into something that necessitates his disbelief now. He fell into something that will necessitate his disbelief. Okay? The ayah we have to analyze, which is what? Allah said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. Anyone who does shirk with Allah, which is the major shirk, he has three characteristics or three things that will come to him. Three things he will gain. First one is أَنَّهُ لَا يُغْفَرُ بِهِ. The ayah says إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ. Allah doesn't forgive him. So the day of judgment, Allah won't forgive him. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second, أنه موجب للخلود في النار. His act of shirk necessitated that he stays in the hellfire forever. And that Jannah is made haram from him. Three, أنه يحبط جميع الأعمال. Every good that he's ever done, that he's ever come with, what will happen to it? All of it will be nullified, all of it. وهو في الآخرة من الخاسرين. And at the day of judgment, what is he? He's going to stay in the hellfire forever. If the person has done so much righteous actions, he's prayed Qiyamul Layl, he's fasted, he was obedient to his parents, and he falls into shirk, all of the good that he has ever done, all of it will go. What about if he repents to Allah? All of his good will come back for him. If he repents and he comes back to Islam, he will gain it again, inshallah. The scholars have a dispute. In the ayah, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ. Allah does not forgive anyone who does what? Shirk. The the scholars, some said that even it's a minor shirk, it falls under it as well. Because this Allah generalized it. It's not just a major shirk. Every single shirk, whether it's minor or it's major, some scholars said that's what it means. From them is Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. He took that view. He said, يَدُلُّ عَلَى الْعُمُومِ, it shows generalization. Even the minor one falls under it. Or the minor, he used. The Shaykh now, when he gave you the verses of the ruling of shirk, and that it nullifies, he gave you his evidence. He gave you his evidence that shirk is the first thing that nullifies your religion. He said, rahimahullah, like الذبح لغير الله. He gave that as an example. Slaughtering for other than Allah. Remember, slaughtering for other than Allah, and you are trying to get closer to that which you are doing slaughter for, is kufr akbar. Kufr akbar. There are suwar. There are times when slaughtering for other than Allah is not kufr. And it will come to us when we go to Usul al-Thalatha, inshallah, in details. When a guest comes and you slaughter for them. It's a matter, we'll come to that, inshallah. And the times but for now, what we need to know is the form of dhabh, slaughtering that we're referring to, is a person is worshipping through his slaughtering a person. Jameel. And Allah ordered us to do the slaughtering for who? For Him alone. وَلِذَلِكَ what did Allah say? قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ وَبِذَلِكَ أُمِرْتُ وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي my salah. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي and my slaughtering. وَمَحْيَايَ and my living. وَمَمَاتِي and my dying. مَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي. My dying, my living. لِلَّهِ is for Allah alone. لِلَّهِ خَاصٌ بِهِ. It's for Allah alone. I die because Allah permits me to die. I only live because Allah made me live. Because He created me, subhanahu wa ta'ala. I pray for only Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I only slaughter for whose sake? Remember this now, barakallahu fikum. That many people, first of all, what is the thing that shirk, if it happens in, that you will stay in the hellfire forever? In what thing? In ibadah, worship. So we need to know what worship is. We need to know what worshipping is. Ibadah is what? Ismun jami'un. It's a general term. لِكُلِّ مَا يُحِبُّهُ اللَّهِ, in everything which Allah loves. وَيَرْضَاهُ, and He's pleased with. مِنَ الْأَقْوَالِ, from speech. وَالْأَعْمَالِ, and actions. الظَّاهِرَةِ, the actions which are apparent. وَالْبَاطِنَةِ, and the actions which are within. That is a definition of ibadah. Now that is a big definition. A lot of things fall under it. Correct? True or false? So it's not just salah. That as many Muslims believe, oh, ibadah, salah. So, general term, in everything in which Allah loves and He's pleased with. Is Allah pleased with marriage? So it's ibadah. Is it an action? Yes. Is it an action of the limbs? Of course. So it falls under that definition, correct? So the person, to get reward for it, he has to do it for what? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. Do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. That's the first one. The second thing that nullifies your religion, or is, that the Shaykh mentioned, is من جعل بينه وبين الله وسائط يدعوهم ويسألهم الشفاعة ويتوكل عليهم كفر إجماعا. The second one is, whoever places intermediates between himself and Allah, calling onto them and asking intercession from them, seeking reliance in them, has committed disbelief according to the unanimous agreement of the scholars, the consent. Kafirun bi-ijma'. Kafirun bi-ijma'. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said in the Quran about the mushrikun, وَيَعْبُدُونَ, they worship, مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, besides Allah, مَا لَا يَضُرُّهُمْ, that which will not harm them, وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ, and that which will not benefit them, وَيَقُولُونَ, and they say, هَؤُلَاءِ, this which we are worshipping, شُفَعَاؤُنَا, are our intercessors, عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, besides Allah. They are what we intercede on Allah's behalf. Also in Surah Zumar, Allah said, مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ, they say, we do not worship these idols that we worship, إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ, so they can get us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala zulfa. These idols, We don't want them. They're not our goals really. It's Allah that we want. They're our intermediates. We go through to them. Intercession is what we ask them. They only help us, okay? Do a lot of Muslims do that today for the awliya? Do they go to their graves and do they say that? Then don't let the words fool you. The ruling is the same. The way that is shirk akbar, yukhriju sahibu min al-millah. The way that was shirk akbar, what Quraysh said. And they were disbelievers because of that. The same is applied for any Muslim who says the same. He will leave the fold of Al-Islam. In that same instant, he will leave the fold of Al-Islam. Al-Islam. So that's the second naqid. And this is what? The Shaykh is saying, Man ja'ala, anyone who makes, baynahu, besides himself, between himself and Allah, wasa'it, intermediates. Intermediaries. He makes them and places them between him and Allah. This min jinsi ma kana alayhi kuffar Quraysh. This is exactly what kuffar of Quraysh were upon. You see, this is what they were upon. But if the person just entered Islam and he doesn't know the matter, what is allowed and what not, he doesn't know the details of the matters, if he falls into a speech of wrong, then of course he will be taught. The person who's always been a Muslim. And he's still going to the graves. Now, the third. من لم يكفر المشركين أو شك في كفرهم أو صحح مذهبهم كفارة. The third one, which is what? From the nawaqid al-Islam. من لم يكفر المشركين. The person who does not do takfir of the disbelievers. Whoever does not hold the polytheists to be disbelievers or has doubt about their disbelief or consider their ways and their beliefs to be correct has committed disbelief. Anyone who says that the Nasara are not kuffar, the Ahlul Kitab, they're not kuffar. هيه كافر كلمة كفر. It's a speech of kufr. So who is the polytheist we're referring to? Anyone who doubts whether he's a kafir, the one. If you doubt a person who is worshipping an idol, he is what? He's worshipping an idol. Or he's going to the graves and he's worshipping the ones who are in the grave. He's going and he's worshipping them. Or he's asking the awliya. He's asking them, give me children. I don't have children. Send rain on us. We're suffering. He calls on to them at times of hardship. If you doubt the kufr of this belief, you become a kafir. Who worship the dead, who worship cows, who worship the cross, who worship Isa and his mother. Anyone who doubts that, he becomes a kafir. Like the person who says, oh, the Jews and the Christians. Brother, ocean, sea, river, they're all water, they all contain water. All religions, different names, all the truth. All the truth. He's a kafir, and man shakka fi kufri, and anyone who doubts his kufr is a kafir himself. You with me? Kafir himself. Yeah. There's a lot of people who have this belief. He sees a kafir with a Christian sign on his chest. He sees it clearly. And he says, how do you know he's a kafir?
Don't judge him.
Are you with me? No. Or he says, the ones who are worshipping idols are upon the haqq. Why are they on the haqq for? Because they're humble servants and they're very nice to people. Look at the character. Look at their character, brother. Of course Allah loves these people. Of course they're Muslims. Why shouldn't they be Muslims? They've got good character. Like Muhyiddin al-Arabi, a zindiq, kafir, who said that Iblis is a Muslim. And they said, how? He said, Iblis, when Allah told him to prostrate to Adam, he had tawheed in him. He didn't want to worship other than Allah. Iblis had tawheed. Iblis did not want to prostrate to other than Allah. He wanted to only to prostrate to Allah. The tawheed in him did not allow him to prostrate to other than Allah. Ibn al-Arabi, that's what he said. And now that's funny. He says that in his kitab Fusus al-Hikam. It's funny that many of you may be amazed with him. Like we have Muslims today who see Ibn al-Arabi as a muwahid. Sahib al-Sunnah. Qami' al-Bid'ah. A person who fights with innovation, who's a Sunni, Salafi. Some people consider him. Don't let him fool you. إذن من شك في كفر هذا الرجل. Anyone who doubts Ibn Muhyiddin Ibn al-Arabi's kufr, فهو كافر, he's a kafir himself. نعم. This is the kalam of our Shaykh. Oh, shakka fi kufrihim. Oh, he doubts the kufr of that kafir. He's a kafir. Because what happens is that you are doubting the truthiness of Islam. Oh, sahaha madhabahum. Or you say that their belief system is correct. No problem. Their ideology is correct. And that you say the means to Allah is Allah. Look at this right now, brother. How do you want to get to West London? Do you want to take the M4? Do you want to take this road? Do you want to take this road? Okay, there's many ways to get to West London. At the end of the day, we are all getting to Allah. But just in different ways. The Jews, he's doing it in his way. The Christians doing it in his way. And I'm doing it in my way. But we're all going to get to Allah. And Allah loves us all. We're all believers. That's kufr. And anyone who doubts that person's kufr is a kafir like him. Now, and there are a lot of people who said that. Somebody would come up to you today say to you, the Ahlul Kitab, the Christians and the Jews are not kuffar. Hey, what's your evidence for that? He will say to you, Allah said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, the disbelievers, مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ, from the people of the books. So brother, pay attention. There are kuffar from Ahlul Kitab, not all of them are. Because Allah said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ, from the people of the book. Yeah. So there can be some of them, and some of them don't have to be. We will say to you, brother, or whatever, sister, we will say to you, this min is not tab'idiyah, it's not from, it's not some. It comes in the language sometimes, tab'idiyah, some, but now it doesn't mean that. Now it's bayanul jins. It means the Ahlul Kitab, those who are bayanul jins. That's the meaning it is. You with me? Bayanul jins. And the word min can come as those two meanings. It can come as those two meanings. But to clearly show you that the people, the Christians are kuffar, Allah said it. لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ وَمَا مِنْ إِلَهٍ إِلَّا إِلَهُ وَاحِدٌ وَإِنْ لَمْ يَنْتَهُوا عَمَّا يَقُولُونَ لَيَمَسَّنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Allah said they are kuffar, the ones that said the belief of the Trinity. لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ, that Allah is one of the three. Allah then says, وَمَا مِنْ إِلَهٍ, there is no God, إِلَّا إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ, except one ilah. وَإِن لَمْ يَنْتَهُوا, if they don't stop what they're saying, لَيَمَسَّنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, the disbelievers, it will touch them, عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ, a severe punishment. So, a person has to realize that if you doubt the kufr of the Ahlul Kitab, then you are you fall as a kafir. Or you say that their belief system is correct. No problem. By all means necessary. Take your road, I take my road. We will get to Allah in different ways and places. Now, we don't believe that. So we don't believe anyone who diverts any ibadah for other than Allah. We don't believe him as a muwahid. We don't believe that person is a Muslim. Any individual who diverts ibadah لغير الله, in our eyes, he's a mushrik. قامت عليه كلمة الشرك, mushrik. The name mushrik is placed on him. 2, anybody who doubts Muhammad sallallahu or goes against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a legislation, opposes it, refuses to follow him alayhi salam, refuses to, and doesn't believe in his message, then that individual is a kafir. That person is a kafir. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a hadith narrated by Imam Muslim min hadith Abi Hurairah, the messenger said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِ مُحَمَّدٌ بِيَدِهِ. Muhammad, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said it, لَا يَسْمَعُ بِي, no one hears of me. من هذه الأمة, from these people. يهودي, whether he's a Jew, ولا نصراني or a Christian. ثم يموت, and then he dies. وَلَمْ يُؤْمِن بِالَّذِي أُرْسِلْتُ بِهِ, and he doesn't believe in that which I have been sent on, إِلَّا كَانَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ النَّارِ, except he's from the people of the hellfire. Yeah? The second one. We're in the third one. We're in the fourth one now.
We're in the fourth one now.
Now we're going to enter the fourth one. Hey, why?
No, you didn't mention the fourth, though.
No, I haven't said the fourth yet. I was elaborating on anyone who doubts these people's madhab.
Okay. Is it Sahih Muslim?
Sahih Muslim, na'am, on the authority of Abu Hurairah. Fourth one is من اعتقد أن غير هدي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أكمل من هديه أو أن حكم غير أحسن من حكمي كالذي يفضل حكم الطواغيت على حكمي فهو كافر. The fourth one is, whoever believes that some guidance other than that of the Prophet ﷺ is more complete than his guidance. He believes. من اعتقد, he believes. أن غير هدي النبي, a guidance other than the Prophet's guidance, أكمل من هدي, is more complete than the guidance that the Prophet ﷺ came to. Good one. Oh, حكم غير أحسن من حكمي, or he prefers or he sees the judgment of others better than the Prophet ﷺ's judgment. Or he prefers the judge of other than Allah, such as he gives preference to حكم الطواغيت على حكمه, over a حكم, man-made law, over the ruling of Allah. He's a kafir. Kafir. He leaves the fold of Islam. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said in the Quran, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِينَ, do you not see the ones, يَزْعُمُونَ, who claim, أَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ, who claim, الَّذِي يَزْعُمُونَ, they claim, أَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا, that they believe, بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ, that which you have been sent with, وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِن قَبْلِكَ, and that which he has been sent to you before you. And they claim that, they say, oh Muhammad, we believe in you. And we also believe in the religions that came before you, we believe that. After saying that, what do you see them do? يُرِيدُونَ أَن يَتَحَكَّمُوا إِلَى الطَّاغُوتِ, and then they run to the laws of the tawaghit, man-made law. وَلِذَلِكَ Ibn al-Qayyim, طاغوت, he defined it as what? كُلُّ مَا عُبِدَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, everything that is worshipped besides Allah, وَهُوَ رَاضٍ, and he's pleased with it. Anyone who is worshipped other than Allah and he's pleased with it, he's a taghut. Yeah. Don't just think that the taghut isn't, he's worshipped and he likes it. Worshipped what? If he's legislated. He's legislating. He's a legislator. He says this is halal, people. He does tahleel and tahrim. He makes halal what is haram and he makes haram what is halal. For the people, he's worshipped. Yeah, he's worshipped. However much he claims he's not worshipped, worshipping him is not prostrating to him like this, putting your hands down and putting your head forward on the ground for him. No. Well, remember when Adi ibn Hatim came to the messenger and the ayah came down? The ayah came down, which is what? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about them.